He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute! Welcome back to Bat Minute and Robin, the show that will tell you the secrets to Joel Schumacher's masterpiece, If You'll Kiss Us. I am one of your hosts, John Parker, so pucker up.
And here's a man who is certainly not immune to this movie's charms. It's me, Niall McGowan.
I should hope the listeners aren't immune either. If you are, what are you doing coming to minute 99?
99, I was like, I hate this so much. How many minutes are left?
Spoiler alert, a lot.
More than you think, yeah.
Yeah, more than you think. But we are joined on this minute, once again, by the very special guest, Molly Bailen.
Yay! Here with waxy lips, protecting myself.
Oh.
Waxy lip prophylactic.
Who is not into a nice waxy lip? You know,
I just keep thinking now of those. I think we even mentioned them last week as well, though. The candy lips, and that guy in The Simpsons, like, oh, candy wax lips, the candy with a million uses. Like what? Well, one, humorous substitute for your own lips. And then, hey, I'm needed downstairs.
Yes, Ivy's continuing her seduction, so what's new there? That could be any minute we're talking about, really. But I adore the hammy dialogue. Because Robin wants to know the plan. And she says, kiss me and I'll tell you. And his response, tell me and I'll kiss you.
Yeah, I do like that.
I love that.
I like that as a slight turn as well, because it's almost tipping the cards to the audience too, that he's actually okay.
Yeah, he's got some power here.
Yeah, because he's actually, this kid, he's constantly on his verge of his own sexual eruption, like all the goddamn time. And you could have called him Woody Woodpecker when he walked in. He was just so ready to get down to things here, but. Like, the fact then that he hesitates and is like, well, you tell me, and then I'll kiss you. It's kind of going like, yeah, he's actually got his senses together. He's making sure to get, like he's wearing a wire or something, just to be like, you hear that, Batman? Like, we got it on tape.
We got the whole plan on tape. Gets her arrested, like, very formally. Yeah.
Gordon coming in. All right, where's
You're
my
going
keys?
away
I
for a
want
long
them
time.
back. Oh, I throw those keys in the sewer afterwards. Oh, God damn it, they cost like $16 to replace.
They have to get a locksmith to come out.
Well, I'm not paying for it, I'll tell you that.
I'm really, as well, into her makeup here.
Oh, so good.
It's so good, isn't it? It's so good. I think the eyes look a bit divine.
I actually had that same note. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just so the intense divine eyebrows going on. They're so far up her forehead, they might as well be in her hair.
I think they should have gone the whole hog. Just do the full divine. Go do it completely.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a divine vibe going on. The colors are unique as well. Like when you see a close up of her lips, I think it's a bold choice to have a pink liner.
Yeah.
With this color lipstick, I would look stupid. Well, I mean, I look stupid anyway with lipstick on, but you know.
That is untrue.
It is.
No, it is untrue. You have good makeup game. You have such good makeup game that I actually bought makeup based on your suggestion.
Oh. Well, with me, it's an illusion. It looks good in a picture. What did you buy?
It was like this game. Oh, damn it, what's the name of it? Has a little like kitten on the front. But anyway, it's the type is like based upon video games, like the name of it. I'm tempted to actually go in the bathroom and go grab it. But basically you had this really great red eyeshadow and you were like, go check these people out. And I was like, okay, cool. And I bought a palette based upon your suggestion.
See, I've got quite a few. Most of my eyeshadows are Sugar Pill.
Yes, that's it. It's Sugar Pill. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm running out of my current red, and they don't do the refill that I normally get anymore, seemingly. So it's like, oh, crap, what do I do? I'll figure that But Ivy, she looks like she's hitting the sugar pill. These are like sugar pill colors.
This is kind of like we were talking about, like, 2 minutes back with, like, does Alicia Silverstone put on her own mask and go straight into work? It's like, there's no way this isn't professionally done. Like, it's so... I'm not a makeup person, but, like, those lips are so on point. They're so perfectly done. It's like, God damn,
They're the hardest bit to me, is doing the lips as well. I find it so... Especially... All right, I can't do a liner. I want to, because it's useful. But you try getting a liner to make your lips look even. Jesus Christ.
It's like trying to draw a Batman symbol. You just can't do it.
It's exactly the same as drawing a bat. In fact, the lips are kind of bat-shaped, I think, with the little Cupid's bow and that.
Oh, that would have been something if she'd done a Robin symbol on her lips. To be like, he's so self-absorbed, he'll kiss me if he sees my lips are the shape of his damn symbol.
Kiss your own logo. No, doing them even is impossible because you discover instantly, oh, my lips aren't symmetrical. Nobody's are, really. So then you try and even it out, much like you with the bat symbol now. And when you try and even it out, you then mess up the other side. Like, oh, that's too big. Okay, let's even it out again.
Like Father Ted trying to ding out that dent in the car. Just ends up destroying the entire car.
It's impossible. I can't do it. I practice before I do every look, and I have to just take it all off and go like, nah, not doing it.
But it almost looks like tough for Uma Thurman because it's like, don't express too much because you don't want to ruin this makeup. It's like so pristine. It's like if she starts going like really wildly vampy, it's just like no. But to be fair though, she does do that, so I guess she wasn't that nervous about it. But...
you can set the makeup, but I find even a setting spray doesn't keep your lipstick on. Maybe I'm too lippy. I do have a strong lip game, as in I'm expressive with my mouth, so maybe that's a bad thing for the lipstick. And but then so is Ivy. But yeah, you've got a professional on set to touch you up every 2 seconds.
Oh, I'm sure
that's true.
I'm sure there's someone willing to step in every 5 seconds, but like doop, 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 doop.
Then again, if it's a liquid lipstick, you can't keep reapplying it because the more layers you put on, it starts flaking like mad. Like a liquid, you only want to do 1 to 2 coat. Like any more than that, and, oh my god, it's awful. You get bits in your mouth all night. It's like oh.
And one thing I really really love though is like Ivy's switch, because she falls for his like, well, you tell me and then I'll kiss you. Yeah, and because she goes from seductive like, kiss me and I'll tell you, and then straight into freeze. I've constructed a giant freeze ray to turn Gotham into an ice cube. Like, it goes into full-on borderline Wicked Witch voice out of nowhere.
Yeah, very Wicked Witch.
Like
and I do like the way she does fully just tell him the plan. Like,
I guess she's just like, he's gonna be dead in 5 seconds anyway. It doesn't matter. But it would be like it's a literal bucket of ice water on top of him though. He's all hot and bothered, and then we're like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna go freeze the city right now. It's like, oh, I gotta go take care of that. No.
I do like her plan though, where she's like, okay, fine, but first, I want to give you a kiss for luck. Because she's like, right, now's the time to stop him.
Yeah,
because he is gonna leave. He is gonna go and stop the plan from happening. So I'll stop him from happening.
See, after all the talk of Ivy's lips though, I don't know if it almost definitely is because we know what's coming. You can't help but be drawn to Chris O'Donnell's lips now.
He's got good lips.
Yeah, but it's just, there's something up with them because they're so... It looks like he's put on a bit of, like, liquid, lip liner himself or something.
It looks like he's got lip gloss on,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nice glossy lip. Plus, he's a twink, so it kind of makes sense.
But knowing what this is going to be, though, I just, again... Much like most things in life, comes back to The Simpsons, where I was just thinking of Homer when he drinks the candle so he can eat the chilies. And Robin's just coming
Robin should have drank a candle.
He's just like, tell me and I'll kiss you. It's just a big blatant pink thing around his mouth.
He starts laughing.
Don't quit your day job, Ivy. Whatever that is.
Oh, yes. That'd be amazing. That'd be so good.
But
yeah, they do kiss. As she leans in, the look on her face I thought was so amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
It's a beautiful symmetry though, because the first kiss, of course, the Jason Woodrue, she did the same move, same camera angle, did the same look up, and now this is the last kiss she gets to do in the movie, and it's like, yep, that's the end. This is essentially the beginning of the end of Poison Ivy now, where it's like, this is the two bookending kisses we get out of this lady.
Oh,
but
Niall shall never die in my heart.
Although God, it's probably still in Arkham. 25 years later, though, sharing a room with Mr. Freeze. Apparently, was
Bring him back.
no Arnold Schwarzenegger would drop everything to go. Because I still got the suit. I can still fit in it. It's great. John Bon Jovi, if you got any cigars left.
I bet he could still fit in it.
Oh yeah, Arnie can still fit in that. Maybe that's the whole reason he still keeps working out. I was like, I can never outgrow the free suit.
They might call me any day.
I keep the Batman 5. They guaranteed me it was going to happen.
Oh God.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, beautiful, great moment of a kiss. And of course then a moment I think even baffled me as a child was this little scenario of, well, even before we get to that, actually, moment of appreciation for Ivy's sit back and waiting for him to die, because it's just like her delivery of like, "Oh, bad luck, I'm afraid. Time to die, little Robin," and then she just sits back like, "Okay, just gonna wait for it here," and just
because it's gonna poison him.
Yeah,
it's working its way.
It's the little pregnant pause though of her. It's like, I'm just gonna sit and enjoy it. Like, but you might as well get out a little thing of popcorn. Be like, okay, there we go. It's time for the show to begin.
These days, she starts going on her phone.
That actually would that'd be even colder. Where she's like on her phone, just not even watching him die. Have to know, just for the purposes of completion too, Molly, because obviously we've asked every season about like the sexiness of Jack Nicholson and Chris Walken, then Chris O'Donnell himself. We are asking this season about Arnie. I don't know if has Arnold Schwarzenegger, tragically you didn't get any minutes with him, but has he ever landed on your radar as someone to aspire to as a conquest?
Oh no. No.
I expected that.
I think that's all it needs, just that soundbite right there.
Yeah, no, not my preferred cut of meat.
That's a way to phrase it right there.
But thank you for asking. No, I feel like when I was younger, I thought Chris O'Donnell was cute.
I get that, yeah.
But now that I'm a crotchety middle-aged woman, I'm kind of like meh. You know, I always thought George Clooney, even when he was on Roseanne, I always thought he was hot.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, like, Clooney now I get. Clooney back here? I don't see it.
You're talking like modern day Clooney?
Yeah, I think he's grown into his looks more. I think he's a handsome guy now. Yeah, he shoots the salt and pepper kind of thing.
Yeah.
I always kind of thought his hair was essentially gray here, because...
probably is.
I was on record when I was a kid thinking, like, why is Batman like an old man now? Like, why has he got gray hair? And now, of course, it's like, that's baby George Clooney you got there.
Well, they portray Batman as an old man kind of in this. Like, he's the elderly one, but he doesn't understand Robin. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, he's young.
Every time he gets up from a chair, he goes,
well, that's what they do with Christian Bale. And he's not old.
Yeah. I don't think it's supposed to be in that he's just got the crap beat out of him so much that everything is agony all the time.
True. Like a wrestler. A lot of them are in pain by the time they're like 50. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I think it's just like I think they mentioned it. We'll obviously get to it when we do Dark Knight Rises, but like they say like 30% of his body is scar tissue or something. It's like, yeah, you've been through some stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, it's all that spelunking. Yeah, totally.
I broke my foot last year as of recording, and it's still not right.
So, wow,
that foot ain't right.
It's not. It's been like 14 months.
But yeah, of course, then we do get the fantastic reveal of rubber lips are immune to your charms.
Oh,
and it's as I was kind of alluding to there. As a child, this 10 years old in the cinema, I was just like, yeah, but you could just kiss him again now. Like he
just lean in again. Wham!
It's like, how poisonous is she as well? It's like he rips off the lips. There could be still residue in his mouth and stuff. Like it could be. Yeah. That's also the thing too. It must be a very like safe peck she gave him. Because you think it would be all tongue. She'd be like in there and just like injecting it straight into his throat or whatever. But like, it must be a very like it's a little peck on the lips. Like that's barely a kiss, dude. Come on.
Yeah, especially Ivy, because she's so sensual. She'd slip the tongue in.
Oh, totally.
Well, yeah, I mean, he doesn't do a great job of ripping the lips off anyway. Like, there's lip, like, residue there. So I'm like, are you gonna ingest that anyway? And you got it on your hands. And as we kind of know in a pandemic, like, are you going to go... I mean, I know he goes into the water, but it's like, are you going to get some, like, rubbing alcohol? Or
He's got some gel on his belt.
Yeah. A little pressing down the whole thing, like...
Like, we scritch his ass later, and then it, like, transfers. Like, I just, I'm just, like, worried about, the hand transfer here with all of this. And coming back to...
You know what, right? If you ever chop chilies, wash your hands, especially... How do I make this... Especially if you have a penis. Because if you go to the toilet and you haven't washed those hands thoroughly, oh boy.
Yeah, I've been through it recently with, jerk paste. Ironically enough, jerk paste.
What?
But to make
like jerk chicken.
Yeah,
my favorite thing in the world is jerk chicken, but I'm a vegetarian, so I have to improvise now.
It's recently though, I made obviously to marinate it, you mix in chicken with your hands. And then afterwards, went and washed my hands. Wasn't enough. Let me tell you.
Gets you.
Later that evening, I was like, "Oh, this is unfortunate."
Yeah, and don't rub your eyes.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, but it's So I don't think he does it particularly good. I'm pretty sure this guy could still be imminently poisoned. Maybe it's a good thing she dropped him in the water, actually, because he might have very well have licked his lips or something, and I'd be like, "No, you still got it."
Plus, he calls them rubber lips, but I mean, it really is just like some kind of solution he's painted on, right? That's hardened and it blocks the poison. But it's still a risky move. It's a very thin solution. He's lucky this paid off.
Yeah.
Has he analyzed the poison before he come up with this plan, or what?
I think a lot of this too, in terms of like comic lore and stuff, is that I think I mentioned a couple of episodes back. There's a great storyline that we went through in great depth where Batman is his second encounter with Poison Ivy, and he's terrified of her because he knows the effect that she has on him. And when he goes in, he literally coats his entire body in a salve.
That makes sense.
So, like, no goddamn way is she getting to him. But there's also a thing, too, in the first appearance of Poison Ivy that I inadvertently found hilarious, where, back when she started out, she was just lady with plant motif. She didn't have any of this whole immunity to toxins or, the ability to control plants that all just built up over the years. But one thing she does have at the very beginning is a chloroform kiss that she tries to use on Batman, but it's basically a special lipstick she's put on with chloroform in it. And to protect herself, she just has nose clips in the whole time, which kind of makes it like every time retroactively reading it, you're just imagining Poison Ivy's talk, "Come be with me, Batman, and we will rule the underworld together." She constantly has her nose blocked the whole time because the part is chloroform just freaking spewing from her lips at all times. But yeah, so there is at least a history dating back to her very first appearance of like protecting yourself from the kiss via some sort of little scenario there. But I don't know, man. It just is like he does that, and one, he's not prepared for her to shove him into the water. Like, Batman will be shaking his head at this, but like, God damn it, kid! Like, what's the matter with you? Like, jeez Louise. But also, too, just grab his face and just friggin' shove your lips onto his, Like, she is a bad guy. I know it'll be like, oh, we're in an age that would be non-consenting. She's evil. Just friggin' kiss him again. Like, go straight ahead for it.
And he could, like, try and fight her off.
Yeah.
It'd be a struggle.
Well, the vines come in, grab him, and then she's like, oh, well, I'll take care of it this way. I don't know if it has to be through the mouth, the kiss. Like, could you peck his cheek? Would that matter?
I think it has to be, I mean, to poison, oftentimes, mouth, eyes, things like that. You can't kiss
What
his
about
eye.
a wet willy? Like a well-timed wet willy.
That'd be great. Yeah, she, like, licks her finger and then goes, and leans in to get him.
Oh, man, with those nails, though, she'd shred your whole ear canal.
That makes it even more painful. There you go. That's great.
Actually, yeah, it does kind of add to it.
It'd be a bit like, is it Rafa Karma? The thing goes in his ear. He's like,
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing that when I was a little kid, traumatizing me. It's just like, I guess it's the same scenario too. It takes over their mind as well. Kind of like been under Poison Ivy spell. That little,
there you go.
Little scorpion thing.
Release the willy cut.
Although in her saying "time to die," little Robin, I thought I'd take this opportunity though just to bring up a thing that we'll probably never get to talk about in this show because the character ain't ever been on the big screen. But talking about the various deaths of Robin, it does happen a bunch of times throughout, Batman history. But of course, the infamous death of Jason Todd. I don't know how much detail you guys know about the scenario leading up to that and stuff.
No, nothing.
I know bits and pieces, mostly from doing the show and looking things up, but I don't know everything.
Yeah, but get out of the way. Dick Grayson, of course, has died a couple times in just various Batman stories. I think that Injustice: Gods Among Us, Tom Taylor did a lead-up comic, and that's one of those things where Superman has killed the Joker for killing Lois Lane, and he now rules the world with an iron fist, and Batman's, friggin' rebel fighter and stuff like this. But Dick Grayson dies in a very stupid manner, where he's having a little verbal squabble with Damian Wayne, the other, Bruce Wayne's son, the Robin at that point, and Dick Grayson's Nightwing at that time. And Robin just throws one of Dick's sticks at him, and it just hits him on the head, snaps his neck, and that's him dead. And you're like, what a terrible way to kill off a beloved character by just randomly gets hit in the head with a stick by the other Robin.
That's insane. What?
Yeah. Of course, then Damian Wayne himself would go on to die via his own hand, because his clone, the Heretic, who was, the League of Shadows, was basically, they must have had a screening of Attack of the Clones back in the League of Shadows headquarters or something, because the Heretic is a clone of Damian Wayne who has been artificially aged up. So he's like an adult, where Damian's still a kid. A la the clones in Attack of the Clones. And he kills Damian Wayne at one point. That's supposed to be a big deal in the comics. But yeah, Jason Todd's death's a big, one of the most infamous things that have happened in the Bat canon. What do you guys know about it, though, in general?
Not a lot. But mostly because, again, I assume at some point we'll talk about the issue, so I've not really looked it up too much. I try and restrain myself when it comes to Batman these days, because it's like, well, yeah, I'd save that for the show.
But yeah, it was one of those things where, obviously pre-Crisis on Infinite Earths, they introduced the new Robin, Jason Todd, where he had ginger hair and all this kind of stuff. And he wanted to be his own sidekick, but Dick Grayson gave him his blessing to be like, no, you can be Robin. And he kind of had a lukewarm reaction with the fans. And then Crisis on Infinite Earth happens. Everything gets rebooted. Jason comes in, different backstory, and Dick Grayson hates him. Mostly because of Batman's fault. Because Batman had fired Dick as Robin because he got shot by the Joker. And he's just like, it's too dangerous. You're out. And Dick did a kind of power move of like, well, I'm going to move 2 cities over. And you'll never see me again, right? And it was kind of like I want you to stop me, Bruce. And Bruce is like, fine.
See ya, fine.
So Dick goes off, he joins the Titans, and eventually he becomes Nightwing. And yeah, Jason Todd becomes the new Robin. And at one point, Nightwing shows up at Batman's door, but what the hell? You robbed me of my home, man. You got some kids usurped my title? I'm Robin. What the hell are you doing? And because of that, the fans reacted in tandem. Where they were just like, F*** Jason Todd. F*** this little shit. And then at the same time, so not doing great with the audience, or that's the way it's perceived. Denny O'Neil, the great Denny O'Neil, decides then to boost fan engagement. We'll do a phone-in poll for something. And they were kind of bandying about what it was going to be. And then eventually it was a character death. Who's big enough where it would be a big deal and but not someone who's so beloved that it'll properly devastate readership or anything like that. And of course they landed on this lukewarm Robin that people kind of hate and are otherwise indifferent to. And of course then, so they have, they set up this poll infamously where you could ring in to vote whether Robin lived or died.
That's horrible.
And it's,
you can't do that.
Yeah, so apparently they got, the vote was it was only a 72 difference difference margin. 5,343 to vote him dead, against 5,271 to keep him alive. So that's 10,614 votes in total. And they've said since that Denny O'Neil believes that it was rigged because some guy who he believes to have been a lawyer in California who owned a Macintosh. It specifies those details for whatever reason. He rigged his phone to vote no, or to kill Jason Todd every 90 seconds for 8 hours. Which is like, you got that kind of tech knowledge and you're just wasting it on killing a comic book character. It's like, you got to sort out your priorities, man. Like,
hey, maybe he's a master criminal on the side.
Yeah, you think a lawyer working in California would have better things to do with his time, quite frankly. But
well, he does. That's why he's rigged it to do it for him. He's busy at work.
And so yeah, that was the big thing. It's like, oh, the fans hate him. So what? We'll get rid of this kid. Yeah, they did it, and they actually did print 2 different covers. One of them's very cheesy, where Batman's going, "Thank God he's alive," and he's got a big goofy smile on his face. And then the other one's the classic, Jason Todd is beaten near to death with a crowbar by the Joker, and then the building he's in blows up. And yeah,
is that the one of Batman holding him?
Yes, very famous image now throughout all of Bat history.
And I've seen that. That's one of the only things I knew was the cover, that the Joker did it, and that they did the poll.
And that's the weird thing is, though, after this, the fans reacted very badly because you're killing a child. Is one thing. 2, Robin's like this bright symbol of hope. He's supposed to be like the antithesis, the kind of balance to Batman's darkness. And so they're like, you've robbed children of their symbol of hope by graphically killing this young boy.
Because children need to learn that there is no hope.
And the weirdest thing is that Frank Miller, the guy who friggin' wrote The Dark Knight Returns and ushered in like the era of darkness of Batman, he said that the death of Jason Todd was the ugliest thing he's ever seen in comics and the most cynical. So Frank Miller thought it was too much. It's like, geez Louise. But but Denny O'Neil then was like, no, we're sticking to it though. And it kind of ended up working up in their benefit because eventually they introduced a more liked Robin in Tim Drake, and they knew to make it instantly that Dick Grayson and him were friends, because don't with the fan. Don't with Dick Grayson, because if he doesn't like you, you're out. You're going to get blown up and beaten to death by the crowbar and stuff. Also then they were like, oh, well, this is a big, throughout the 90s, this is a massive story arc for Batman coping with the death of Jason Todd and stuff. So it ended up being a benefit for them in general. But I don't know if we'll ever get that. We've got an animated form, but like I don't know if we'll ever get to the Jason Todd saga.
I don't think we will
screen.
Because, I mean, are we yet in a place where they would feel comfortable having a proper full Robin in a movie? I don't think we're there yet. I would be happy with it, but the studios, they'd just go, remember Batman and Robin?
Yeah, I think Robin is just too problematic. I don't think that they could successfully, do this again.
It's
but just because he's a kid being recklessly endangered by a roaming psychotic.
Oh, there is that problem as well, especially because the movies currently, I'm not saying they're bad, but they're not fun movies. Whereas this is a fun, silly movie, so it never feels that dangerous. But if you were doing it with the modern tone, it'd be like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Oh yeah, the draft has an extended part. This is quite long, so I apologize. But I liked it. So, well, it's interesting, let's say. So Ivy said, well, yeah, I don't want to...
Quickly rectify that there.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's good. But, so Ivy says, you should have heeded your pointy-eared pal. These lips can be murder. It's after she's kissed him. And Robin's like, you never loved me? Love you? I loathe your bipedal arrogance, your animal superiority. My only joy is knowing that even now my poison kiss is sucking the life from your ape-like face. And then you hear from off-screen, I'm not saying I told you so. Ivy spins, turns around, and from the shadows emerges Batman. And then she's like, you're too late. Say bye-bye, birdie. And that's when Robin goes, sorry to disappoint you, but rubber lips are immune to your charms. He peels the coating off. Batman goes, Robin and I found the cure to your evil spell, and that's teamwork.
Ooh.
That's very Adam West, that line.
Yeah. That kind of feels though that should be in there. Like, just, to emphasize, like, yeah, it's about us. It's about the team. It's called Batman and Robin, for God's sake.
Yeah, I think you could do that without him saying it. Have him show up and help, and then you'd get it. But, oh, yeah, they've beat her through He doesn't have to say it. That's very literal, isn't it? And all of her dialogue's very literal as well. Like, my only joy is knowing that my poison kiss is sucking the life. It's like, yeah, okay.
The idea, though, that is indicating as well, like, bipedal arrogance and things like that. Like, that's almost like it's actually proving our thought process right, that, like, maybe she's not even really into Mr. Freeze. She seems to hate all humans. Like, bipedal arrogance. Like, if you were bipedal, I hate you. Like, that's...
Well, now that Freeze isn't a human. He's a god.
That's the thing, yeah. Yeah, so maybe it's more like, I don't know if his legs are even there anymore because they might have got frozen off at some point.
Would that be cool? Ivy should slowly start becoming more plant. And it's kind of like a mermaid thing going on, where her legs are turning into kind of roots. That would have been a good contrast then as the movie goes on. Freeze could start off completely robotic and without emotion. And as it goes on, his humanity starts to come back, so he can be redeemed at the end. Yeah. But Ivy goes in the opposite direction, and she becomes less human as it goes on. That might have been a nice little yin and yang thing going on there. Yeah, I don't like that.
Because this is actually, like, Ivy's outfit here is like it's the culmination of this thing they've been building up to the whole movie, where now she's in full bloom. Like, the hair is just going crazy, multiple colors. Like, all the makeup's multiple colors. Their fingernails are multiple colors and stuff. And, of course, the first costume she was in when she was born as Poison Ivy, because like brown vest covered in mud because she's in the soil. Next time was like a green body stocking thing with kind of... The hair was there in bright red, but it was, down and calm, and it was like realistic and whatnot. Next time, bright green. Like the emphasis more on the green, like the stem is growing, and then she has the red buds on top of her head.
Love that. Yeah.
And now there is no more stem because she's fully bloomed. She's all the flower now. She's all red and orange and yellow and stuff. So it's and then of course we'll get to it, but like by the time she's in Arkham, she's very withered looking. So is the winter is.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. Yeah. The only other thing slightly related to that was online Twitter chatter in our feed during the week was Phil Mataz from a couple of weeks back there, guest on the show, was talking to Duncan Shields, who is also on the show, and they both don't like Uma Thurman in this movie, think that she's miscast. To me. And I was like, but they were suggesting Jennifer Tilly to play Poison Ivy in this. And I think
my God.
Yeah.
I
the thing is, that's a
Tilly,
very different approach.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have loved Jennifer Tilly in this. I think it would be completely different, but it would have been amazing because it'd be much more raunchy and much more of like a comedic portrayal.
Well, that's the thing. She's not, I mean, I think she's absolutely stunning, but she's not sensual. She's like dirty.
Yeah, she's like demented sex pot. Whereas this version is like, Ivy, she is a goddess. Like she is, she's very, very flirty, but she's above all the people she's seducing. Like that's her whole thing. Whereas like Jennifer Tilly is like, it's just sex. She's just into sex all the time.
Which I don't know, would that work? I don't know, maybe it would. Maybe it would work.
I think it might have been too much for kids. Like it would have just been her like spilling out of her dress all the time. It would have been way, way, way too much. But I would have personally. That is terrific casting for a different portrayal. But
it's unique casting.
What do you think of Poison Ivy in this movie, though, Molly? Like, do you find her to be like an empowering kind of figure, or because we had kind of mixed reactions where people think that either Uma's miscast, or the character is empowering, or the character is actually insulting, or like, where do you land with her?
Well, I think that she's cast well. I really like Jennifer Tilly. I don't like her for this role because when I think of Jennifer Tilly, I think of just like kind of big-titted ditzy, and I feel like that's a strange. I mean, I know that's a characterization of a lot of the roles that she's done, but yeah, I don't particularly care for it for this, and I feel like there is this. I like Uma Thurman because she does have this kind of goddessy, Norse goddessy kind of vibe going with her. Whether this is an empowering character, not really. I kind of find her. I think her kind of Mae West acting in this is really funny. I think it's amazing. I love the portrayal of that.
It's the best bit of the movie.
It really is. It's such a it's just this strange. I mean, this whole movie doesn't make any kind of sense, and as long as you can just suspend sense and just roll with it, it's quite enjoyable. Yeah. But yeah, I think that when we talk about the feminist aspects of it, I think Bad Girl's really where that comes in. I mean, we'll see in a couple of minutes down the road, but I think that when they're trying to make that feminine empowerment statement, it really comes out of Batgirl and less out of Poison Ivy, personally speaking.
I get
so
it.
Would you rather Batgirl though had her own identity, like her kind of riffing on Batman's whole shtick? Do you find that, like, would you rather she was her own entity, or are you okay with, like, I don't know, just it's a kind of message of equality in a way?
It's funny because I think I'd had that thought, maybe earlier on, that it would be nice that she had her own identity. But there's a part of me that kind of feels like, because there's a theme of family in this movie too. And I know that this is separate from the comic books, and there's very likely a rich history there and less of that familial context. But there is, Commissioner Gordon is kind of this bridge. And so you could maybe stretch to say, well, it's a secret, you're in the trust tree. This is an extension of that, because this is an extension of this relationship that's really built across lines, that, Batman is a vigilante essentially, and he is working with the law, and, there's a trust that's built there, and, Barbara's the daughter. And so, and I know that doesn't exactly track, but for the purposes here, she's, she is family. I mean, that's why she opened up the DVD to begin with, because she's like, well, I'm family too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like taking that stance then to, align herself as, another iteration of the Bat makes sense. Dick Grayson already had an identity because he was in the circus, and he had a, connection with Robin. So that makes sense for him to have his own thing. And you can't necessarily have two Bats. Like Bat Jr. seems kind of like ridiculous, in a duo. So that, makes sense to me. So I think I can go either way on it, but honestly, I'm not bothered that she's Batgirl.
Yeah. But yeah, so within the actual text of the minute, though, we just get Robin shoved in. He gets all wet himself.
Like an idiot. He seems paddling. Stuck in all the vines. Or are they sentient? We're not quite sure.
I think it's supposed to be that they grab him, but oh man, but it is so, because he's so like gets to be big headed about this. Like, yeah, I got one up on you, and then she just shoves him into things. Like, you are an idiot, kid. Like, shouldn't you be prepared for something? Like, what do you think she's gonna be like? No, okay, just puts her hands together, slaps the cuffs on me, officer.
Maybe he thinks she doesn't get physical. To be fair, we haven't really seen a fight.
But she really does catch him off guard here. I mean, it is kind of stupid that this is a gymnast, essentially.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah.
Maybe
she's just like one good shove, and he's tits up in the water. So it is kind of like, oh, come on, guy.
He needs to roll.
Yeah. Maybe he just didn't see Bane around, so maybe because he assumes that Bane is the only muscle she has, really. But in the novelization, they actually put in a little extra scene that I appreciated, because it adds to Ivy's sinister nature, I feel, where it cuts back to Freeze, like, working on the telescope, and Bane's, like, looming behind him. And Freeze is kind of getting a little, like, he says, he's trying to make chit-chat, but like, oh, so you got any pets or anything? And Bane just silently stares at him. And the way it occurs to Freeze, as Bane's looming over him so much, it's like he's there to keep an eye on him. Like, it's more like Ivy has said, make sure he goes and does this thing with the telescope. And if he changes his mind, you make him do what I want him to do. There's that kind of thought process of Freeze have been like, I think I might be getting used here by this lady.
What?
And it's like, that's exactly what's happening. But it's like, I like that they add that in. That Bane's not just there to be like a handyman for Freeze. It's like, no, he's there to keep an eye on him, to make sure that Ivy's plan goes down, rather than Freeze been like, yes, it's my whole thing to do this now. But But yeah, that's all the notes I got for minute 99. The last of the double digits as well. It's all
finally
triples
at
from here.
100.
Yeah, triples is best. But there's a little joke there for Dave Palace and any other fans of I Think You Should Leave.
That's just for you, Dave.
But of course, Molly, because Batman and Robin so derided worldwide when it was released as one of the worst movies ever made, we are asking the guests if they have a worst movie they've ever seen that they want to bring to the show.
You know, I can't think of, probably because I enjoy bad movies to a certain degree. Like, I find some movies to just be, that MST3K sort of way, still valuable as being amusing.
That's what we do, yeah.
You know, I just still dig it. I will say this. I was trying to think about what's a movie that, like, I couldn't sit through that got great reviews, like Rotten Tomatoes, and I never made it through Birds of Prey. I actually turned it off because I thought it was so bad, and that is a rarity for me. It's one of the only movies in my history that I actually was like, I'm not going to sit through this because I can't tolerate it.
That's wild. I've only had one or two of them in my life as well, so I feel you on that. Yeah.
That's good because Birds of Prey is quite beloved by a lot of people as well. But it takes so much from the Joel Schumacher Batmans. Like, it's kind of like it's like that's come back round. You know, it's so bright and colorful, but almost also kind of fetishy as well. It's like, so you're like, oh, I just want OG. I want the real deal Coca-Cola of Schumacher Batman. I don't want your knockoff Rolla-Cola of Birds of Prey over here.
Yeah, I didn't even see the Schumacherness in it, honestly. I thought it was just really, and I hate to kind of, because, you know, whatever, the publicness of it, I don't know what the synergy was that didn't make it work, because obviously there's amazing actresses in it. But for me, some of it was the characterization of Harley Quinn, I thought was really poor, and I really disagreed with the writing choices. And also, like, when we talk about things that really got canned, but I really enjoy, I really like the Ayer Suicide Squad. I know people hate it. I don't give a shit. I still think it has a ton of good merit in it and a ton of good characterization in it. I understand that it has editing problems and plot problems. I still don't care. I still really enjoy it. I actually bought it. So I know that the pitchforks and the fire's going to come out and people will come after me for it. I'd love to see, like, Ayer's intention for his cut. It's like, again, one of the few movies that I actually would be like, okay, this came out, this wasn't what you wanted. What did you want? Because what I see here in terms of footage is very promising. Didn't get arranged the way you wanted, but still there's a lot of good here. So I'd be really interested to see what they actually ended up doing with it.
That is kind of like unique from like because you know what you imagine to be the feminist perspective of those two movies is that Harley's over-sexualized and kind of ogled in Suicide Squad, and then there's kind of Margot Robbie empowering the character more in Birds of Prey. Would you seem to have had the opposite viewpoints of like, oh no, the character's terrible in Birds of Prey. I much prefer the Suicide Squad iteration.
But I don't think she is empowered in Birds of Prey. That's my argument. I think she's actually much more, even though yes, there's a high sexualization of her within Suicide Squad. I think the way that the breakup went about and the way that she went about her own quote unquote emancipation was honestly anti-feminist. I didn't find it to be empowering at all. I found it to be disempowering. That's why I ended up not caring for it.
I got that impression with her in the new Suicide Squad. I found her very, like, because her plot in that is, she just falls in love with some guy again. But then she betrays it. It's like, oh, for God's sake.
That was not a fan of Harley in the Suicide Squad. Yeah, so it was very much just like, is she not over this whole thing with toxic relationships and stuff? And it's just like, no, that's the next plot point. She's hooked up with some boring guy, and that whole plot line feels like we didn't originally have this in the script, but now Margot Robbie is like a big thing, and she's a producer on this.
She needs something to do.
So you got to tack on 20 minutes of extra footage just dealing with Harley Quinn. There you go. It's the same message that we've done already, where, you know, Harley doesn't like toxic men. It's like, Yeah, no, yeah. Get it hooked up with Poison Ivy already. That's what we're all waiting for. God
That's
damn
what
it.
the world's waiting for.
Yeah.
But would that be your choice though? Then Molly, like of movies that everyone hates that you yourself enjoy, is the David Ayer Suicide Squad?
Yes. Yeah.
Hey. No, I like it. I like getting all these different angles because we've had people come on who don't like the movie at all. So I like to hear from someone who loves it.
Yeah. Yeah,
We'll
I think
depart.
I'm all done for the last of the double digits, minute 99. Molly, do you have any parting shots to give to Batman Robin?
Well, the only thing that I wanted to say was, and it's coming up in a minute, but maybe it actually. Now I'm thinking, maybe it did pass. So when Freeze goes to the observatory. And he's got Bane in the back seat. Totally cracks me up.
I love
it's like
it.
one of my favorite little moments.
Anytime we see Bane just like chilling, I'm into. Wait, where's that hat? Everything.
Yeah, right. The chauffeur hat.
It's fantastic.
It'd be great if he had like, a little. When he's out in the streets, he puts on the fedora, and then when he gets in the car, he has to swap over to a little chauffeur hat.
Fedora in the streets, chauffeur in the car. We can make that rhyme. We'll work on that rhyme. We'll work on the movie, work on the rhyme. We will be off. Molly, one more time, would you like to promote any of your work to the good listeners?
Sure. So my Twitter feed, my handle is Dharma Soda Pop, and I'm currently producing a Buddhist self-help podcast called Wednesday Wake Up, and you can check it out at WednesdayWakeUp.com.
Hey. So do, everybody, go check that out, listen to it, and come and speak to us on Facebook at the Bat Minute Listeners Cave. And, check us out on all social media. Why don't you head over to the Sleepy Charlie Media Patreon and get bonus episodes and help us pay for this ridiculous nonsense? It's every dollar counts. It all goes towards the stupid fees. So if it was free, that'd be great. But it's not. And you get bonus stuff for the courtesy of your $2 extra episodes. So do that, and we will see you again on Monday for more exciting Bat Minute action.
Next time, holy floral lassos! Robin appears to be perched on the precipice of doom, and an evasive ivy is bat-blocked upon her exit from the room. The Tsarina of Gardenias gets a grip on our hero with the help of hellish vines, but which fledgling defender will fly in the nick of bat time? Silverstone saves the day from a maniacal Marigold Monet on Monday, Batmites. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.
We'll be back.